Thank you. Dignitaries on the dais and ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's been almost 15 years when I was Municipal Commissioner in Vizag, and subsequently another 5 years I was Municipal Commissioner of Hyderabad. But my involvement with the use of technology actually started when I was Municipal Commissioner in Visakhapatnam. And when I look at the smart city concept that's getting evolved with this new government, I realize that the journey has come full circle. So I'm not going to be giving you a academic perspective. What I'll try and do is give you a practitioner's perspective. As I understand, there are certain municipal commissioners, there are some technology partners. So broadly, what is it that you look at when you talk of a city as a smart city? To my mind, it all starts from various aspects of urban governance to urban infrastructure to how citizens live their life in a particular city. And when you look at a smart city concept, to my mind, it has to go beyond technology. It cannot just remain as a technology concept. You can't say that we have wired houses, or now these days unwired houses with smart buttons, smart technology, and our refrigerator gets on and off at our will from our mobile phone, or our sewage system is getting run through some smart meters and smart devices. Effectively, what will be required is for the cities to have good infrastructure. Otherwise, for example, you may have a very smartly connected town, but if that town does not have good infrastructure, good drainage system, one rain will wipe out what gains you look at when you look at a smart city. So broadly speaking, when I divide this entire schema, to my mind, smart infrastructure would have to occupy the top list. And what is it that you talk of when you talk of a smart infrastructure? I could see a lot of people getting awards in urban transport. So obviously, infrastructure, urban transportation is one of the important aspects of any good city, be it smart or be it unsmart. Effectively, you require good infrastructure. You need to have good road network. You need to have good sustainable road network, because effectively, if you don't have sustainable network, the city might look good today, but 10 years down the line, that entire area might again get congested. Or you may not have, for example, smart stormwater drains, which effectively would make those roads become traffic unworthy in very little time. So what you need to have is smart, sustainable transport infrastructure. That should, to my mind, be a very important aspect when you look at smart infrastructure. Obviously, when you look at smart infrastructure, you need to look at drinking water. You need to look at, when you look at drinking water, then you need to combine sewerage networks into it. And then you need to have the stormwater drainage network into it. When you look at the other aspects of infrastructure, you need to have sustainable, eco-friendly infrastructure. So you need to look at a lot of green spaces within your own towns. And when you look at green spaces, then you need to look at this whole aspect of urban planning, which is very important in terms of allocation of spaces for various user needs within a particular town. So how can technology play a role? Assuming that this infrastructure is already laid out, which is what is the case in many of the Western cities, and that's why they are looking at going one step up as to how do we manage this infrastructure in a much more smarter manner. basically when they look at that, they're kind of trying to look at how do we automate the management of the infrastructure by using smarter devices. I think that's where this whole concept of smart comes in. To my mind, it's looking at trying to connect various devices on internet, as they call them as IoT devices, Internet on Things. And the whole idea is that you will not have too many people, or you will not be able to spare so many people for managing your infrastructure. So that's why you need to have automated devices which run your infrastructure. So here you look at devices which run your traffic system. And when you have devices which run your traffic system, then you look at intelligent transportation systems which allow you to take your vehicle at a pre-designed speed or a rate. So effectively, this whole aspect of having smart infrastructure boils down to putting in place infrastructure, and then secondly putting into place digital infrastructure which can take care and manage the infrastructure that has been laid out. Of course, when we were commissioners at that time also, one aspect that was being given highest priority, and which was not there at that time, if you look at it, was the smart governance part. I recall I launched an initiative called as Socarium in the year 2000 in Vizag Municipal Corporation. And somebody actually later on told me that actually it was the first time somebody had put municipal corporations online, and where we were giving various services like payment of property taxes, something that looks very trivial these days, payment of property taxes, getting your births and death certificates online, getting to pay your trade license fees, getting your trade licenses online, getting various certificates online. This is what was started in the year 2000, and to my mind, now that looks trivial, but the fact remains that smart governance would always be at the heart of any smart city program. Even if you have the best infrastructure, if the urban management, primarily by the local municipal corporations or the urban development bodies, is not smartly managed, there's a good chance that whatever has been created in terms of infrastructure can simply get reduced in terms of its effectiveness if we don't have the management done in a smart manner. So when I look at smart governance, I look at entire range of things emanating from managing your own civic corporations in a smarter manner, having transparent systems, having accountable systems, having systems which have lesser chance for nepotism and lesser chance for corruption. So to an extent, easier access to various services, both regulatory as well as civic services being delivered online, to my mind will form the second prong in terms of smart city infrastructure. So once you have the smart infrastructure and once you have the smart management, then comes obviously the other aspects where a city is defined as a smart if that city has smart people, smart citizens. And when I look at smart citizens, what do you mean? What do you look at? You look at people possibly who, number one, who have got economic drivers in place. For example, you may have the best city, but if the city does not have the economic drivers, you will not find many people who live in that city. The cities would not thrive just because you have laid out good infrastructure. Cities would thrive if people find that there is merit in living in those cities. People find that there are economic opportunities. So people who have economic opportunities in a city, and then you look at how to connect these people so that the multiplier effect of connecting people is enhanced and those economic opportunities are enhanced. Why is it that a small area in Manhattan, New York generates more revenues than a similar area, say, in a particular town in India? Primarily because Manhattan has economic opportunities and people are connected, their opportunities are connected. So to an extent, that would be one of the important aspects of any smart city infrastructure. So you need to have innovation thriving in your smart cities. You need to have knowledge economies thriving in your smart cities. And I think that's where the cities would get that traction to go to that another level. Fourth thing, again, effectively comes to my mind is the smart home. Now, assuming that you have smart infrastructure, you have smart management, and then you have smart citizens, and then comes down to your homes. And I understand now a lot of things are, a lot of devices are coming out. They say that there are going to be more people, more things connected on the net than the human beings. And maybe possibly right now also they might be having more connected devices than more connected people. So effectively you will find that over a period of time, as one of the ads which comes out of the Google box, they tell us that an individual starts from his office, he pings on his phone and he gets, and his car comes out of an automated parking lot. He goes on to that particular car, and that's a self-driven car. It's being run through microprocessors. So again, what you call as a smart car. Goes into his house. The moment his car crosses a particular area, the door opens on its own. He gets inside. Cold water, cold coffee or hot tea is waiting for him because it's been made from a smart oven or a smart refrigerator. And I mean, whole range of things. It tells you when to wake up, when not to wake up. So all this looks in the realm of future, but believe me, this is how civilizational growth is, and this is how civilizations will grow. So effectively, you look at this entire gamut of activities which bring together this entire concept of smart city. But to my mind, in the Indian context, I still think the first would be primarily the important focus, because that's where we're still far behind. And even when I look at the cities today and compare them with 2005 when I was commissioner in Hyderabad, I still can say that on the infrastructure front, we are still not good enough to go on to that next level where we put a technology layer on top of the infrastructure, because we right now don't have that basic infrastructure which is the important need and which is the important aspect. But good, it's a renewed focus has now come in terms of making use of technology for running the urban affairs, and with this new concept of a smart city and a kind of competitiveness which has come in. You have, even in this forum itself, you have many cities who have won awards. That means they're trying to compete. It's a healthy competition which has set in. Even the selection of cities have also been done through a kind of a healthy competition. I think all these augurs well, and if we can channelize all these efforts and energies, I'm sure the vision of this government to create smart cities within our country would definitely be possible to be achieved. Last but not the least, I always believe in one principle that you look at the history of any civilization, there are 3 T's which actually drive any civilization. And to my mind, the first 2 T's are not out of context here, but trade, technology, and towns. These are the 3 T's which drive civilizational growth. You look at any civilization which has prospered in the past or which is going to prosper in the future, they would all be relying on these 3 aspects. And if we ignore these 3, possibly we are not going to create a smart city as we understand and as we are made to understand. My thanks to the organizers for inviting me here. My apologies to the organizers that I have another meeting at 11 and I have to rush, but I'm sure the conference would be successful in generating some brainwave, and you will be able to storm your ideas. And believe me, as a municipal commissioner, the best way to learn is from your fellow commissioner. So I think this forum will allow you those opportunities, and I'm sure you will all go back with some thoughts and some ideas which you can put into practice the moment you go back to your respective towns. Again, thanks to the organizers, and apologies for trying to leave early. Thank you very much.